Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Today is Monday, October the 6th, 2025, and it is the first day of the 9-inch plate 5-day personal challenge, incorporating some diabetic dietary practices. So I wanted to show you a 9-inch plate. This is the plate I normally use for my meals. This plate here is considered a dinner plate. Okay, see how much bigger it is? So this dinner plate, which I don't use, is about 10.5 inches. The 9-inch plate should be 9 inches. Look at that, 9 inches. Awesome. So that's the plate I normally use. However, I'm going to try the 9-inch plate method, which is, show you here, half of the plate is actually divided into fourths, but half and then 1/4 and 1/4. So half of the plate would be vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. They can either be raw or cooked. The other quarter of the plate would be 1 portion of meat or other source of protein, and the next quarter would be a starch, a low glycemic index starch. In other words, a starch that your body takes a while to absorb. So the starch wouldn't be potatoes because that turns to sugar very quickly. The starch would not be rice, white rice, let's say, because that turns to sugar very quickly. It could be sweet potatoes. It could be brown rice. Okay, it could be quinoa, let's say. So that is the 9-inch plate, and this is the plate actually I use on a daily basis, and it's certainly the plate I'm going to be using for my 9-inch plate 5-day personal challenge. So just so you know what that 9-inch plate looks like. And if you don't know and you want to try it, just measure your plate. Or if you have a bigger plate, measure your plate to find where exactly the 9 inches fall on that plate. Okay, the next thing I have for you, excuse me, is my guidelines for this 5-day personal challenge. And these are my own guidelines, of course, using the guidelines for the 9-inch plate rule as a basis for this. So the 9-inch plate, the challenge is called 9-inch plate 5-day personal challenge, incorporating some diabetic dietary practices. The first thing I want to point out to you is my disclaimer. Disclaimer, the content of this video is not medical advice. The content of this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not, nor have I ever been, a healthcare professional. I am not a diabetic. For medical and dietary advice, consult your physician. Okay? The purpose of this personal challenge is to make use of the 9-inch plate method for portion control and balanced nutrition using only the foods I have available to me at hand. So I'm not going to shop for anything special for this challenge. The 9-inch plate rule. 1/2 plate is non-starchy vegetables, 1/4 plate protein source, 1/4 plate low glycemic index starch. Dairy and fruit in small portions may be consumed on the side. This criteria is based on the ADA 9-inch plate method for dietary portion control. ADA is the American Diabetes Association. All right. The duration of this personal challenge consists of a duration of 5 consecutive days. So for the next 5 days, including today, I will be filming each one of my meals, including snacks if I have any. Now, the Diabetes Association does allow for snacks, but I don't usually snack during the day anyway, so I probably will not be doing that now. So that is what the rules consist of. I will post this in the description underneath this video so you can read it for yourself and check it out for yourself. And the other reason is I want to be sure and post a disclaimer because I am not giving medical advice in any way, shape, or form. This is a personal challenge. Okay? All right. Now, just for the fun of it, I asked the AI, Gemini.Google, to give me a sample of the 9-inch plate method, a sample menu based on the plate method principles, okay? All right, and that's what it did for me. So I did copy that, and I wanted to show you this. You can do your own search in the Gemini or any AI you prefer if you like, but this is the one that it came up with for me. I will not be following this exactly, but it is a sample, and it does give me some ideas on how to proceed with this. Keep in mind, I'm using what I have. I don't do a grocery shop until Wednesday. Today is Monday. I'm using what I have in the house, and when I shop on Wednesday, I'm not going to buy anything special, like, for example, low-carb foods. I don't want to do that. I want to see if this can be done just by eating ordinary things. So here is the 9-inch plate breakdown. And it tells me what falls under the auspices of the non-starchy vegetables, low in carbohydrates, high in fiber. Examples: broccoli, spinach, green beans, salad greens, carrots, cauliflower, asparagus, zucchini. And I'm sure these lists are not all inclusive, by the way. Lean protein. Example: chicken or turkey, skinless, fish, eggs, tofu, beans, or lean cuts of beef or pork, about the size of the palm of your hand or a deck of cards. And then, of course, the carbohydrate foods: grains, starchy vegetables, fruit or dairy. Examples: whole grain, brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat pasta, bread, and whole wheat bread, starchy vegetables, corn, peas, sweet potatoes, a piece of fruit, or a cup of low-fat, non-fat milk or yogurt. Okay, and then drink is water. Fat, healthy fats, olive oil, nuts, avocado. I do agree with those. Now, the ADA recommends using seed oils. I do not use seed oils. I have not cooked or used seed oils for years. I use butter, and yes, I do use saturated fats such as bacon grease, beef tallow, chicken fat, etc. So I do not eat those things. I believe they cause inflammation. That is just me. You can think whatever you like. Okay. And another thing, I do not eat low fat. I have not eaten low fat for years. Everything I buy, my dairy is whole fat, is whole milk, full fat, and my I don't eat low fat desserts or any of those kinds of things, low fat dressings. I believe that when they take out the fat, they must replace the fat with something else to keep the consistency of the product and to keep that mouthfeel, such as low-fat ice cream. They have to add things to that may not necessarily be good for us and maybe worse than just eating the fat. Okay? All right, that is only my opinion. You can do and think whatever you like. Now, to clarify, I do not have chronic health issues. I do not have high blood pressure. I do not take any prescription medication whatsoever. I am not a diabetic. If anything, my blood pressure tends to be a little bit on the lower side, not low, just lower side. And I don't have those issues So, I do have, probably I might have a little arthritis in my knee or foot or whatever. I really don't have anything major wrong with me, okay? Okay, so I will not be testing for blood sugar. That would be an expense that I cannot afford, nor do I want to go through that, because the purpose of this is to see what kind of meals I can come up with and how do I feel. Another thing I did do, I weighed myself. I'm tracking my food for the 5 days, just like I did for my previous meal tracking challenge. Tracking my food, I weighed myself this morning just to see, and we'll see how we do come Friday. Okay? Okay. Now, it gives some samples here for the meals. For example, breakfast has a breakfast there. It has a lunch, and it's a salad. There's some chicken breast strips, a small apple served on the side. That sounds delicious. That sounds very doable for me. A dinner, roasted broccoli and green beans, 3 ounces of baked salmon, 21, or not 21, I don't know why that number is in there, but nevertheless, 1 cup of cooked brown rice. So I don't have brown rice in the house. I'm not going to run out and buy brown rice. I prefer white rice, but for this duration, I just won't have the rice. I'm sure we can make up for that in other ways. So anyway, you can feel free to go to whatever AI you prefer, if you do have any, and you can check that out for yourself. One thing about the 9-inch plate, I'm realizing it is primarily portion control. So it says use a literal 9-inch plate to help you visualize and manage portions, especially for the carbohydrate section. So I think it's very important to do that. Now, I will be doing some repetitive meals, as I did in my meal tracking challenge, personal challenge for September. I enjoyed the repetitive meals. I will be doing that. For example, I already filmed my breakfast for this morning for you. I have an egg. I'm going to have an egg every day, an egg on something, or an egg with something, okay? So, and the breakfast plate, depending, you made it in a bowl. So the breakfast plate is not necessarily going to look like a 9-inch plate, but it's the same principles, okay? All right. So that is, I think that is everything that I have for you. And like I said, I will post this in the description so that you can see it, just in case you'd like to do it with me. I'm going to post every meal for the next 5 days, and then I will post that compilation video of all of the meals. I will post that next Monday, okay? But in the meantime, you will have this. You can check it out, and we're going to do the 9-inch plate 5-day personal challenge, incorporating some dietary practices. Okay? All right. Per your requests. All right. That's it for me today. I love you guys. You know I do. As always, you know that little is much when God is in it. Okay? All right. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you later. All right. Bye. Love ya.